Welcome along, lady and gentlemen. Today I've got my hands on the 2021 Triumph Speed Twin. Now, I rode this bike last year, the original Speed Twin. This has had a few updates. Basically, the bike needed a bit of an update for Euro 5. They had to do some work on the engine. So Triumph thought, hang on a minute, let's take this opportunity to give it a slight reworking. Fantastic as it was, they've tried to make it better. So we've got different engine internals, different cams, lighter crank, forged pistons. We have Marzocchi upside down forks now, as opposed to the conventional way up forks with the gators, and we have M50 calipers and some other changes which we will talk about in a moment. But today we're going to go out for a little bit of a sorry, not a a gentle meander through the countryside, because this bike is a retro. This bike is for going a little bit easier, enjoying the scenery. So grab yourself a cuppa, make yourself comfortable, let's get started. Chopsy, roll the intro. So before we set off, let's do a quick sound check on this machine. This is a twin, a 1200cc twin. Two great big honking exhausts down the side. Let's have a little listen. Sounds decent. Jeez. Every time I ride a Speed Twin, I forget how grunty that engine is. It takes you by surprise. If you give it full throttle at first gear, hold on tight, because you could be off the back. It's a very, very grunty motor. For 2021, as I mentioned, Triumph have worked their magic on this engine. It needed a bit of an update to meet Euro 5. So what they've done, they've put high compression pistons in, they've changed the cams, they've lightened the crank. All that equates to another 3 horsepower over the old bike, so it's now 99 horsepower, so that sweet spot of 100 brake horsepower. But the big news really, rather than the 3 brake horsepower, is the torque. The torque figure is the same at 112 newton meters, but it's 1,000 revs lower down the rev range. So you've got that torque available lower down the rev range, meaning you don't have to thrash the bike to get the performance. And the Speed Twin was never a bike you had to thrash to get the performance anyway. The power is instant. Jumping on this, the biggest surprise is how smooth it is. It's not the torque, it's not the power, it's just how smooth that engine is. A 1200cc triple, it's a cross-plane design, so it's a cross-plane type crank, you know, with a strange firing order to give it extra grunt, but it is so smooth. I don't remember the old version being as silky smooth as this. There's almost zero vibrations. For a twin, a 1200 twin, there's hardly any vibrations at all. I'm really impressed with how smooth this is, and the gearbox, it's just delicious. It goes into gear so easily, up and down the box. It's super smooth to ride. You just feel like you can sit back, it takes no concentration, and just really enjoy the ride, you know. Unlike the Kawasaki Z900 RS I rode a little while ago, which was quite a snatchy throttle response, this is the complete opposite. It's just delightful. It's fueled beautifully. So that's the first thing, just how goddamn smooth this engine is. Absolutely lovely. So for 2021, all the changes to the Speed Twin are all about performance. You know, they're all performance orientated changes. The new brakes up front, the new upside down forks, 43mm upside down Marzocchi forks, non-adjustable by the way, but they always were. The rear shocks, I think they've just played